Hello. So the question that was asked was, how do I take this door list and add my overlays to it for doors? Well, maybe not this door list specifically, but a door list. So if we look here at my door list, you can see that I not only have all of the doors showing as in the other report, but I also have these notes here. So how did I get that? Well, before we go for any further, let me go to the plan view. And you can see I have a single cabinet. When I look at it, it has a set of pair doors and a drawer front. If I look at the object tree, I can drill down to the face, the drawer opening, drawer box. You can see I have a bunch of user-created standard added parameters. Okay, so I used this UCS right here to add these notes right here to the program. You know, this is misspelled. Let's fix that right now. Okay, so all of this before it is nothing more than trying to find either the default overlay value or using the one that was set by the user. And I'll add this in to the post where you can find, you know what, I'll add this in the comments of the video just to make sure you can get it. So I'll close this, save my changes since I did make a change. And all right, we can go to reports and we can look at how I made this. All right, so again, we're trying to take this door list and turn it into this. Now, this is just how I made it. You can alter it and change it how you want, but this is how you would get those notes onto the door list. So we're going to select the door list again. We're going to hit set up reports. That's going to bring us to the door list in our list of reports. And we're going to go copy, and we're going to say, let's call it door list with OL notes. We'll hit OK. And now it created a copy and selected it. And I'm going to go to report properties. Now the first thing I need to do is get those notes into the program. They're already there in the notes table in the report.mdb, but I want to create a kind of pre-filter. So to do this, I'm going to click the Add Data Source button. I'm going to change the name to Door Notes. I'm going to change it to a type of link, and I'm going to make it that I need to select star from notes where parent type equals 5. Now, why parent type equals 5? That's because any notes that are attached to a door would be of parent type 5. I know this myself. You know what? I didn't keep the name, so let's change that again. Door notes. So I know that off the top of my head. If you want to see where that comes from, what you can do is you can just select star from notes. Since we know we have the notes there, hit OK. And you'll see the parent type is 5. If there were other notes in here for cabinets or jobs or rooms or whatever, then they would show up and we could then go, okay, well I need only number 5. So I go here where parent type equals 5. Do the data preview and there we go. There was no other notes in there, so it didn't filter anything out, but it would. It does now. So what we now have to do is attach those notes to these doors. And we have them showing up right here. Well, we have the doors showing up right here. So how do we attach the notes? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the SQL tab, or the SQL tab, go to the very top, and on my keyboard, hit Control, Shift, then End. It's going to copy everything in the text box. And now I'm going to use my keyboard again and go Control C. Now I'm going to open up a program called FlySpeed SQL Query. I talk about it a lot in my videos. I love it and it works really well. There's a few little keys that we have to do to get it working sometimes, but for the most part it works perfectly. So you're going to see I have V9 report here. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you how to create a connection to the V9 report. We click the Add New Connection, then select MS Access, hit Next. Type in the path to the database or click on the ellipsis button here to browse for it using the Windows browser. next, and then I just give it a name, v9 report, and I would hit finish, and it would connect to the database and everything. Since I already have it, I'm not going to do that. And now, with this expanded and opened up, we're going to hit New Query. We come here to the bottom text area, which is where the SQL text will be, and we'll hit Control-V on our keyboard. And then we'll go to the visual area, and you can see it recreated that query in the Visual Designer here. So what we need to do now is we need to collapse tables, and you'll see under Views, we have the door nodes. That's why we added that into Cabinet Vision before we came here. So we're just going to drag this into here. We're now going to click on Door ID and drag it all the way to Parent ID. So now the SQL query knows that there's a connection between those two. Since we filter out everything that isn't a door note, we can easily do this. Otherwise, we'd have to create a subquery, and it just starts to get really complex. So that's the reason we added that in the first place. So now I can just select parent. No, I can select prompt and note. When I hit execute, you can see there we go. Now we have several records instead of those 3. And here at the end, we see all of the different notes that are added. So let's go back to the query. We're going to go to the text window, and again on our keyboard, we're going to we can either do Control-A to select all, or we can go Edit, Select All, and then we can go Edit and Copy, or Control-C on our keyboard. We'll go back to Cabinet Vision, and this is all still highlighted, so now we can just hit Control-V. Now we have to make a couple of changes to this query because somehow I changed my settings and it doesn't come in right. So what I do, I go to the very end of the text, I press the Home key and backspace, Home key, backspace, and I want all of this on one line. Okay, and we're going to do the same here for the inner join areas. We're going to find, we have the select clause, which is this. We're going to go to From, press Enter, Group By, Enter, and Order By, and press Enter. And now I should hit Close, Design Report, and there we go. And now we can add those notes in. To do that, we're going to double click on the Doors table, and we're going to go to our group header. Now what we need to do is we need to add another group header to this section. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete line definition 6. I don't really need it there. I will select all of these and adjust my frame. The reason being I want that underline there. So let's set this to none first. Make sure my width is set to 0.5. And then just hit this one here, hit OK. And now we have an underline under all of that. That just clears up some things. So let's leave that expanded. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure line definition 5 is selected by itself, and I want to go to the group by property here. I'm going to select the whole thing. I can click on the edit formula, Control A, Control C, all right? And now what we're going to do is we're going to right click in the list here, and we're going to go append new table line, hit OK, and now we're going to paste that in here, what we just copied. Now why do we do that? Well, instead of having the lines of the names of the doors and everything on the data line, we need to now have it in its own group. So right now the way it works, it's every time this string right here changes, it's going to create a new group. So we need to create a new group that matches all the data that's shown here under the line definition 5. So what we'll do is we'll go to the very end, press Shift and plus to add the plus symbol. Now you'll see we have syntax error, and that's what we want right now. And hit enter, and then we're going to go FSTR, which is format string. And the reason we need that is that the rest of this formula is a string, so it's not going to show a number. But we need the number here because you notice the first line is quantity. So we go doors.quantity, comma, and we're going to add the format string, which is open quotes, question mark, ampersand, close quotes. Now you'll see now I have a 1 at the end, but we're not done. We're now going to, actually let's go ahead and copy this whole thing to our clipboard because I missed a step here. So we're going to hit cancel, we're going to hit OK, and we're going to the project, user variables, and we're going to create a new one. We'll call it size A. Hit OK. And in this one, we're going to edit, and we're going to go condition, C-O-N-D, show width first, then atrim doors dot width string, go outside that closed parentheses that was made, comma, atrim doors dot height string. Now what we did was, if the show width first parameter, which is over here, is set to true, then it should trim out the doors width string and give us just the text value. If it's not, or it's set to false, then it's going to give us the height string. Okay, so we got that. Now we need to give the inverse of that. So we will go OK, create a new one, call it size B, hit OK, and do the same thing. Condition. You know what? Let me show you how to do this the easy way. We'll go to condition, and we'll say show width first. Then we'll say atrim with the $sign at the end, which means it's supposed to be a string. Doors dot width. I'm sorry, this should be height string, and then atrim doors dot width string. Now, if you don't remember, or you can't type it in correctly, maybe not as good at the typing, you can actually edit each one separately so you can verify that it's giving the correct answer. When you hit OK, it'll put that in there, and then you just hit insert, and then it makes that huge condition string for you. All right, so now we're going to hit OK, and you can see expression is correct. Expression is correct. We hit OK. We're going to go back to our doors. Now, when we go to the group header, it dropped off that line definition 6, and that's why we copied it before. So we're going to select it, and we're going to hit append new table line. OK. We'll go back to our group by, paste that all in, and now I haven't lost any work. And I now hit plus at size A plus at size B, because you see I'm going through size A, size B, plus doors.type plus doors.hinge. And that's what I actually need, because this cabinet quantity list, I could add that in, but that's unnecessary because that's not going to be a grouping criteria. So from here I can hit OK. Now if I leave, it's going to once again remove that line definition, but I'm not going to leave. I'm going to go to data line. I go to line definition 1, select quantity, hold down shift on my keyboard and select cab quantity, and then hit Control X on my keyboard, and that cut it out of there and put it in our clipboard. So I can now go to group header, select that line definition 6 and Control V, and there we go. We moved it from the data line into the group. Now we can go back to the data line, delete line definition 1. The doors.notes is the notes that's on the door itself. We can leave it here, or we could put it into the group header as another line beneath, which actually, I think that's going to be a good idea. So we're going to hit Control X. We're going to go to group header. We're going to actually go back here. We'll put it back right here just for now. And we're going to go to this. And we're going to select this whole thing. Now, why are we doing this? Because we need another line below this to show up my door notes. Because of that, I need to give it the same group by information. So we'll once again right click and select append line, hit OK, go here, paste it in, hit OK. We will now copy or add a new item, say doors.notes. And hit OK. All right. And then we will go to our data line. We'll delete this out, and we will go doors.prompt plus colon plus doors.note. All right, and you see there's my note. I hit OK, and there we go. Now it's all squished up, so let's go ahead and fix that first. So we'll go back to our group header. We will come here to line definition 6, and we'll tell it that it needs to space off to the left by 10 millimeters. Okay, so that will line it up properly. Oh wait, no, sorry, this is supposed to be 0. Line 7 is supposed to be 10 millimeters off. So there we go. And now the length of, or the width of the information contained here needs to be 155.1. That's how the report's set up. You have from the left end of the report container to the right end 165.1 millimeters. We took away 10 for spacing, or a pad. So now we only have 155.1 millimeters left. So that's what we need there. We're going to go to data line here. We're going to shift this on the spacing. Well, that's already shifted. So let's go ahead and just select our field and make it 155.1. Then we're going to hit OK. Now it looks better. It's got this line highlighting there. I'm going to leave it there for now. Save, close, and then view mode. And there we go. Now it looks the same. Now I'm going to tell you I ran into a slight error when I was doing this, and it wasn't actually an error, but it was I wasn't paying attention, I guess. And the report I used, if we go to view mode or setup mode, we make sure it's selected and go to report properties. And if we look down here, show notes is set to false. Well, because of that, my report came up blank. If you get it and it's the process we took to do all of this, and your report is blank, go here and make sure that show notes is set to true. I went through and altered the report so that it wouldn't not show the stuff. So, but you set this here to true, and then everything will come out proper. So again, go to view mode, make sure it's all there and everything what we want, and that's great. Hope this helps you out. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I know this was a fairly complex walkthrough.